What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the Collective Clips, where you already know we're about to get it in. And before we get into the stories of the day, please hit that like and subscribe button. Put that notification bell on all so that way you're abreast of all the dope content I'm kicking this week. Happy Friday, man. It's Friday, another fly day. Time to get nice, time to get fitted, committed. Go out there, have a good time, but stay aware. Hey, and be patient. Good things will come to you. In a menudo style, direct fashion. You guys see the thumbnail, so you already know what I'm talking about. Orale, The Walking Dead, right? Do you ever cruise down your street? And it's starting to become apparent now. Especially in America, man. You're cruising down the street, West Coast, the best coast. I don't know how it is on the East Coast or what's going on out there in Texas, but I know on the West Coast, you dip and you dive. Doesn't matter where you're dipping to, man. You see them out there. The Walking Dead, right? Zombies, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I don't even know what you're doing up at 2 or 3, 4 in the morning, but they're out there, man. And it looks like they're ready to chew your earlobe off. I'm telling you right now, man, times are bad. They're harsh in America. It's getting bad in California. It's getting bad all up and down the West Coast, man. Where you see these individuals, also known as tweakers, zombies, man. They're getting their zombilization on. It's fucking ugly. It's getting ugly, man. And it's time to start being aware of exactly what's going on. See, a lot of these people, they're considered unhoused or homeless. Man, I have nothing bad to say about these people that are going through harsh times. Shit, I'm that close and a pawn chain away from being homeless, right? So I understand the situation. But at the same time, man, a lot of these individuals that are considered street people, that are off that dope, they want to be there. They choose to be there, man. It's ridiculous, some of the stories that I've heard and some of the stories that I could tell on some of these people that I've met and I've actually conversated with and I've talked to. A lot of these individuals choose to be out there on the streets. They got good families, had good jobs, had good, their old lady or their old man or whatever the case may be. And they find themselves all tirada out there on the streets, being a peyoya or being a pendejo. Either way, that's what happens nowadays. That's the society we live in, where it seems like everybody wants to stay high all the time. Okay, one thing that my grandfather told me, man, that I'll always take to the chest and to the heart when I'm in that casket, Holmes, I'll still be believing it. I might not be breathing, but I'll be believing, right? The one thing he told me that was the jewel, the diamond in the rough he dropped on my headpiece was the party has to end sometime. If you're one of those people, you like to go out there on the weekends, be a weekend warrior, Holmes, be a Thundercat. Go out there, have a good time. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you wind down, back to business as usual come Monday like a lighter shade of brown song. That's cool, right? But most people, they don't know how to quit. There's no quit in them. It's addiction. It's addictive tendencies. It's addiction problems. I just did a video on Gunners Collective the other day about my addiction that I'm fighting with, that I'm struggling with, which is gambling. Okay? I like the casino way too much. I like the ding, the bonuses. I love the big jackpots, or the jackpots I don't never win, but I like seeing other people win them. You ever been to a casino and you hear, we have another big winner, right? And you're looking around and everybody's looking sad. Propaganda, right? They're trying to fucking feed your earwaves so that way you can hear it on the airwaves. It's bullshit. It's all there so that you can spend your money. But drugs are the same thing. They're the scourge of America, man. We are becoming a country dependent upon being high all the time because people are depressed. They want to forget their problems. They want to do what they do. And it's becoming sick. It's becoming ugly. I've had family members that have succumbed to it. They've lost their lives behind addictive behaviors and behind being tecatos and just staying in that spoon, right? Choosing to get high, man, because they didn't know when the party was ending. The party ends. You have to go home. You have to get back to business. But a lot of people don't want to do that. So they find themselves on the streets, one of the Walking Dead. Now, we all know that show, The Walking Dead. I used to watch it. I started rewatching it. So good. A lot of the people are starting to look like that. There's a new crisis. Back in my days, it was the crack era, the crack epidemic, man. Everybody was off that A1 from day one. Everybody was smoking and yoking with 4 doors open. Powder, a little bit of powder, little bucanas, man. You already know what it was, man. The la was going down. But it started to become different types of drugs, man. We had meth. The meth epidemic is still popping, right? It hit. And of course, everybody's teeth fell out. People's noses turned over here. You've seen 23-year-old women look like 66-year-old old viejitas. That's just how it did. That's what it did to them. It was meant and built to destroy your body. Everything is placed on earth to destroy your body and to be a destructive chemical if it's not natural, if it's not from the earth. Now, weed, that's different. They call it the gateway drug, but at the same time, if you like to smoke a little something because it makes you feel good about yourself, do your thing, right? I ain't got nothing bad to say about no marijuana. It's legal. Like Bugsy Siegel, we do it all in the motherfucking Drop Top Regal. But at the same time, when it becomes like meth and different hard drugs, man, it's bad. You know, when I went to prison, I was one of the first things I was told by the OG homies was that Norteños didn't indulge in hard drugs. You know, that was never our thing. We had to stay aware. We had to be on our toes. We had to be on our 10 at all times, man, because we were short in numbers. There wasn't very many of us. So we had to stay prepared so we didn't have to get prepared. And one of the things on preparation is your mind. Your mind controls your physical. You have to understand that if you don't have a clear mind, a sound mind, and you don't know what you're fucking thinking and what's going on around you, then you're going to slip, Holmes. And if you slip, people are going to identify that and they're going to make you a target and you're going to become a victim. And the last thing you want to be in prison or even on the streets is a victim, because victims don't make it. Victims come up short. You know, the victimization is very real. There are predators and there are people out there that are looking to victimize you. Take what little bit you have, the rings off your finger. They'll have all that if you choose to let them. And one of the ways people are susceptible to that and letting them is because they have addictive behaviors and they'd rather be in the spoon or on drugs, on hard drugs, rather than paying attention to what's going on. The homies that are plotting and planning on kicking your door in and doing a home invasion. The motherfuckers that are over there fucking finger banging your old lady when you're not looking. There's all kinds of shit going on. You have to pay attention and stay aware. Now trip out. We have a new crisis in America, if you haven't noticed, right? And it's called fentanyl. And, you know, it's getting so bad in some areas that there's actually vending machines with Narcan cans so that they could hit you if you fall out. You know, I remember being incarcerated. I was in this one prison, man. And I've told the story before. I'm reiterating just a little bit because the wind's blowing. These individuals got a bad batch on the yard, right? It wasn't Fent, it was black, right? They got a bad batch. And the way that it is in the CDC, I don't know if it's still like this. I haven't been in prison for a minute. But the way it was at that time was they actually had beds in the day room. So you had the day room, which was considered, you know, you had one side, which was the Norteños and the blacks, and the others function on one side of the day room. And then, of course, the South and the whites and the natives function on the other side of the day room. Just the way the makeup was. Politics is politics, man. That's prison for you. But they had these bunks that they had actually put because there were so many people going to prison at the time. There was no bed space for them. So you had people living in the gym. You had people living on the tiers. You had people living in dorm settings, but you also had people living in the actual fucking day room. They converted these day rooms into putting bunks in the day rooms. It's a trip, but it's the way it was. And you slept wherever you slept. Wherever they put you, wherever you were placed, that's where you were. Well, there was all these white guys that congregated together. Yes, Wood, brother. The Wood brothers were all together. There was about 8 or 9 of them. And they all slept side by side. And that must be an unfortunate feeling, you know, having everybody in your business. You can't go nowhere. You can't jack off. You can't do none of that good old shit, right? Because everyone can see you from the cells. And believe me, there's motherfuckers on posted looking all day long to see what everyone else is doing. Anyways, these individuals were there. They must have brought a bad batch in from the yard. Something hit that just was lethal. And 8 bodies. There was 8 people that chose to get in the spoon, and there was 8 people that did not wake up. They actually died right there on the scene. I remember it was an ugly situation. I was in the cell like, oh, hell no, right? Happens. People don't know when to stop the party. You know, now you got the fentanyl crisis. And I'm not going to lie to you, man. I cruise every day and it saddens me. It weakens my heart because I look around and I think about my tios and my tias and what they did back in the days and how it affected their life and how they're no longer with me. You know, I don't have that tio to get at, you know, to get gamed up anymore because he was so tremendously inside that spoon, man. That's what his life became. And ultimately it affected his livelihood. It affected his family. It affected all his relationships and it affected him. And he's gone. My tia, the same thing, man. Ultimately, she ended up, you know, passing away because of the drugs. So drugs have always played a pivotal role in my life. The pivotal part being I didn't want nothing to do with them, right? I used to sell drugs a long time ago. I was in the game. Of course, man, I chose to get the fuck up out the game because I just wasn't good at it, right? But for no other reason than I just wasn't good at it. And that's that. You know, it's not made for everybody. But I didn't realize what I was doing to my own people. I didn't realize how I was hurting other people. You know, any person who's out there doing what they do, I don't knock the hustle, man. I don't knock the grind. Get yours. Do what you does, cuz just remember at the end of the day, it does really affect families, children, everybody. The fentanyl crisis is ugly now. You know, it's getting bad. You know, you see people smoking these blues on the streets. You see people, they're not even hiding it no more. They'll break out the foil right there in front of you. Like, fuck it, let's do it, right? Straws and foil, straws and foil, straws and foil. Vatos are on their good one, right? And it's unfortunate because it's impacting society, man. You can't even drive down the street or take your children to the movies or anything without being, subjected to seeing stuff like that. That's what America's become. We've not become only a land of the free and the home of the brave, but we've become the Walking Dead, man. People that are walking around like zombies. You see a person at 2 or 3 in the morning, believe me, they're lurking. They're looking for some bushes to jump up out of so that they could rob you, break in your car, jump in your backyard, steal your kid's bike. Whatever they could do, man, whatever would get them that next blue is what they're doing. Now, this drug hit the scene, man, and is taking over, but there's also a new one that has come up. And this one is actually eating the human flesh away from people as they walk. You know, I remember Dubs did a video, man. He was talking to Johnny. And Johnny's living out there in LA in Skid Row, man. And Johnny's pretty real. You know, respects to Johnny, man, wherever he's at right now, man. Nothing but love and respects. I hope he's doing better because he knew better. But he kept it real and raw and correct, man. And he told you exactly the way it was. He didn't sugarcoat or ask for nothing, man. He just told you the harsh realities of the streets and the people that are trying to get away from it, but they're encumbered. They're stuck. They're sucked into that abyss, man. Once you get so deep in it, you know what I mean? You can't get up out of it even if your name was Bennett. It's just the fucking way it is. And it's an ugly situation. And it takes people like myself, you, and people that are aware and people that are of sound mind to help. People need help, man, because they're stuck. There's this new one. It's a new fentanyl, man. It's eating flesh. People are walking around looking like zombies. Literally the Walking Dead. They can't get away. I've seen people's meat fall off the bones. I've seen people with holes all the way through. Sounds good. Can I get directions? Let me just look through his fucking his leg, right? You can look all the way through their leg and see the next street over, man. You can hear music bumping through their leg. Man, straight up. That's how ugly it is. It's not a laughing matter. You know, I think I'm a comic. What is that? A comic? That's what I think. Anyway, so the fact and the harsh reality is, and the truth is, we are doing it to ourselves. We are subjecting ourselves to these drugs, man, because we're not providing enough programs, not facilitating enough outreach, not giving people the proper game that they need. You know, like I said, as a young Norteño, when I was locked up, that was one of the main things that I focused on, was not indulging in hard drugs, because I didn't want to get fucking stabbed in my face for not knowing or not being aware and being all high on the yarda, right? That wasn't my thing. Nowadays, I don't know what's going on. If motherfuckers are getting high or whatever they're doing, that's on them. You got to understand, prison is probably a place where drugs are the most rampant. And the reason being is there's a lot of depressed people that have hopelessness and desolation. There's a lot of people that have lost faith. They're not getting out. They're doing all day. So they're going to do what they do to keep their mind off the situation that they're in. But on the streets, there's so much to do. You know, I've seen women, men lose their children, sacrifice their kids, sell their own children because they wanted to get in that spoon, or they wanted that next blue or that next pill. It's becoming an epidemic that we need to fight together. We cannot fight separately. We have to have our voices heard. That's why I wanted to do this video today, because there's literally the Walking Dead out there. I was talking to my primo the other day and he was like, damn, bro, they're like zombies out here, fool. They're just on a good one. They're never on a good one. And I've been hearing that my whole life. I'm on a good one. I'm on a good one. You're not. You're on a bad one. You're on a sick one. Okay? It's not a good one. There's nothing that good that comes out of it. Of course, man, that's what this world revolves around. Money, drugs, power, drama, women, all that. That's what it's been like. It's going to continue to be like that. But if you're not able to pull yourself out and find a better situation, man, then there's people like myself and other people that I know care. Because I do. You know, when I see a person down on their luck, bad on their luck, I don't care if I know they're going to get high with the money. I don't care if you say it's enabling or whatever the case may be. I try to slide them something if I got it. I don't got it, but I try. I'd rather give it to them than the casino, right? I try to slide them something, clothing, food, medication. Well, I'm not saying nothing about medication, YouTube. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Aspirin and Tylenol and shit like that for headaches. I'm trying to fucking help people out here because, you know, I've lost family members behind drugs. I've seen my own primos, you know, come to the door like that on some Walking Dead shit. You know, I'm going to be real with you guys. You know, I never was really into hard drugs like that, but I've tried things. You know, just like anyone else, I was curious. I had homeboys that got down. I wanted to see what it'd be like. Let me see that pizza one time. What does that shit do? Oh, fuck that, right? You know what I mean? My tooth feels like it's gonna come out, eh? Yeah, fuck that, right? I like my teeth right where they are, as yellow as can be. But at the same time, you know, I see a lot of people that just can't. You know, I had a homeboy, and I'm gonna tell you guys a story real quick. Trip out on this. I was in prison with this guy, man. Good little homie. Solid little dude, man. Little mixed up at times, but he's solid, right? He was solid. You know, he could tattoo like a motherfucker. Did a couple of my tattoos. Just was good with the ink, man. Good with the pen. Could draw. He had a talent. Very talented artist. Wasn't too liked on the streets just based on some of his affiliations and some of the things he was involved in. But at the same time, man, every interaction I had with him, he was a good dude. He gets a hold of me, you know, maybe a couple months ago on TikTok, right? Gets a hold of me, reaches out like, damn, bro, I see you doing your YouTube thing. What's up? What you been up to, brother? And I said, oh, no, just doing my thing. And I could see where the conversation was shifting. And it started getting a little outlandish, a little weird. And I asked him, I said, hey, bro, are you on a sick one? He said, yeah, I am. I said, do you need something, bro? He said, yeah, bro, I do. I said, you know, call me. And he was like, I don't even got a phone hooked up, bro. I'm off the Wi-Fi and shit. And I knew the situation was ugly and bad. So I reached out to him, man, and I blessed him. You know, I did the best I could. And I didn't have much, but I gave him what I could because I felt bad, man. It hurt my heart to see the homeboy in that situation. Yeah, maybe a situation he put himself in because everyone picks up the bubbler and everyone lights it, right? No one lights it for them. But when you fucking feel bad, when you see a homie struggling and doing bad, man, it just, you know, if you're a real person, man, and you have heart, it makes you feel bad. And I'm not going to forget the situation, man. I've been trying to tap back in with him to make sure he's all right and he hasn't reached out. But, you know, with that being said, that's just the way it is. You know, we have a crisis in America, man. This fentanyl crisis is taking over. It's bad. Some parts worse than others. Pay attention, man, to your children. If you have teenagers, if you have young adults in your family, man, you know, keep an eye on them, gente, because this is one and done. You know, you hit the pookie back in the days and you were on a sick one, right? Nowadays, you hit it one time for your mind and you're gone. You know, you could possibly, that could be the end of your career. You know, I was watching a documentary the other day, or it was a while back. I think it was Canada or somewhere else, right? Where there's a gang of white people and shit. Hey, Wood, what do you got against the white people? I ain't got nothing against white people. I'm just saying there was a gang of them, right? And this guy was out there slanging. They were doing a little documentary. You know how they do that undercover shit. He was wearing a mask and shit. He's out there slanging, man. And the reporter asked him, do you know that people can die off this? And he said, yeah, I don't care. You know, that's on you. He said, well, let me get one of those things. And he goes, if I take this, what's going to happen to me? He goes, you're going to die, bro. You're not used to it. And I thought that was crazy that he was still out there doing it, knowing that people could come up fucking short. People don't care. It's just the way it is, man. It's all about the dollar, man. It's all about the hustle. I'm not here to hate on anyone that's hustling, man. Get yours. Just know that, man, you know, we're losing a lot of people out here. The fighting is real. The struggle is real, man. This epidemic has touched home. You know, we're worried about the Middle East and the bombings and things going on, homes. And people are bombing their spoon every day. And we're losing a lot of our youngsters. We're losing a lot of our people that don't know better, you know, that think that it's cool or it's cool to be high or it looks cool. Ain't nothing cool about it, man. You know, the people that are going through the struggle and the battle with addiction, I understand that. But the people that do it just because they think they're cool, man, you know, ask them how it's going to work out in 10 years when they ain't got no teeth and their eyes going this way. It's ugly. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose, man. I just wanted to put that out there because it's a feel-good story. It's actually a feel-bad story. But I needed to let, you know, people know that I see and I care, man. The Walking Dead, they're in your neighborhood. They're in the neighborhood near you. And it's ugly. With that being said, move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you. And remember, at the end of the day, man, it's up to us to identify problems and to correct them. You know, don't wait for anyone else to do something for you because motherfuckers ain't going to do nothing for you. And that's real. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly, honestly believe in, man. And that's the betterment of all people. People coming together, people recognizing problems, and people dealing with those problems and issues, man. This is a very big issue, gente. This is the gun. And I'm out. Bang, bang.